There is a boy in this painting who is crying, and a clown who is smiling. But look again. The clown's smile is paint. It was put there before he arrived at work, before he walked into the tent, before he sat down beside this child. The boy's tears are real. In 1922, Norman Rockwell placed them side by side, the one being on Earth whose entire profession is the performance of happiness, sitting beside the one human honest enough to show pain. Most people glance at this painting and see something charming, a child who ran away, a circus performer who found him, a moment of warmth. What Rockwell actually painted was something far more precise, a study in the distance between the face we wear and the one underneath. And once you understand what the clown in this painting actually represents, not just as a character, but as an archetype with a 500-year history, you will never look at it, or at Norman Rockwell, the same way again. The full title is Runaway Boy and Clown. It appeared on the cover of Life magazine on June 1, 1922. Rockwell was 28 years old. He was already one of the most recognized illustrators in America, producing cover after cover of cheerful domestic scenes for the Saturday Evening Post. But this painting is different. Look at it carefully. A boy sits in the corner of what appears to be a circus tent. He has been crying long enough that both cheeks are wet. His stick and handkerchief bundle, the universal symbol of the runaway child, sit on the ground beside him. He brought everything he owned. He walked until he arrived at the place he had been promised would fix everything, the circus. And now he is here, and it has not fixed anything. The figure beside him is an aging clown, not a young performer at the height of his act. An aging one, a man who has done this a long time. He leans toward the boy with what art scholars describe as genuine tenderness, the gesture of a father, not a performer. But his face is still painted, the white grease paint, the exaggerated smile drawn in red, the costume that transforms a human being into something that does not have a real expression. He cannot take it off between acts. He cannot reach across to this weeping child as himself, as whatever tired, ordinary man he is underneath the paint, because that man does not exist here. In this tent, in this profession, in this life, there is only the costume. Rockwell has placed the most emotionally honest figure in the painting directly beside the most emotionally masked one, and the question the painting asks, quietly, without explanation, is this: which one of them is more alone? To understand what Rockwell was reaching for, you have to understand the history of the figure he painted. The sad clown is not a modern invention. It is one of the oldest archetypes in Western performance. It traces directly to the Italian theatrical tradition known as commedia dell'arte, improvised comedy troupes that traveled across Europe from the 16th century onward. Their characters were fixed: the lovers, the villain, the servant, and the clown, called Pierrot, whose role was to be laughed at, to fail publicly, to absorb the audience's discomfort so they could feel safe. Pierrot was always sad underneath. That was the design. But in 1892, an Italian composer named Ruggero Leoncavallo made the subtext explicit. His opera Pagliacci, which means simply clowns, tells the story of a traveling performer named Canio who must walk on stage and make an audience laugh while his personal life is collapsing around him. The most famous aria in the opera is called Vesti la giubba, put on the costume. Canio stands in the wings, broken by what he has just discovered about his wife, his life, the story he told himself about who he was. And then the curtain rises, and he walks out, and he performs. The aria is one of the most recorded pieces of music in history, not because of its technical difficulty, because of what it names: the specific human experience of being required to perform a feeling you are not having. By 1922, when Rockwell painted his Runaway Boy and his aging clown, Pagliacci had been playing in opera houses for 30 years. The image of the clown who weeps behind the smile had become one of the defining symbols of modern melancholy. Rockwell knew what he was painting. Look at the composition again, because Rockwell constructed this with extraordinary precision. The boy's tears are visible. The painting gives you both cheeks, so there is no ambiguity. This child is not composing himself. He is not being brave. He is not hiding anything. The clown's smile is fixed. It cannot move. It was applied with a brush before the performance began, and will stay there until he washes it off. What Rockwell has created is a visual equation, one face that cannot hide, one face that cannot show, and he has placed them in the same frame, at the same scale, in the same moment, so that you feel the gap between them without being told what to feel. There is no resolution offered. The clown leans toward the boy. He reaches out, but what can he offer? He can offer presence. He can offer the warmth of a hand, but he cannot offer his real face, because his real face is somewhere else entirely, underneath the paint, living whatever life he lives when no one is watching. This is the joke Rockwell embedded in the painting. The boy ran away because the world he came from required him to be something other than what he was. The clown is the most extreme version of that requirement that exists. Here is where the painting gets darker still. Norman Rockwell spent his entire career painting warmth he did not personally feel. Biographers who examined his private letters, his therapy records, and the accounts of those who knew him describe a man almost nothing like the America he painted. He was emotionally withdrawn. He struggled with severe depression. He felt, on most days according to those close to him, genuinely lonely. His relationships with his wives, his children, and his own parents were complicated and often strained. He described his own work this way: "I unconsciously decided that, even if it wasn't an ideal world, it should be, and painted only the ideal aspects of it." He was not painting what he saw. He was painting what he wished existed. In the 1950s, Rockwell was treated for his depression at a psychiatric institution in Stockbridge, Massachusetts, the same town he had moved to because it was close to the facility where his wife was receiving treatment for alcoholism and depression. The man who gave America its most comforting images spent decades quietly falling apart behind them. The clown in this painting is Norman Rockwell. The painted smile is the cover of the Saturday Evening Post, and the boy sitting in the corner, with tears on both cheeks, in a place he believed would be better than the one he left. That is what Rockwell felt, privately, for most of his life. He buried it in the painting in 1922, and America put it on the cover of a magazine and called it a charming illustration about a child's adventure. The phrase, "run away and join the circus," is one of the oldest promises in American culture. It meant, somewhere out there, there is a world that is more honest than this one, more vivid, more alive, a world where you do not have to be what you are expected to be. Rockwell painted the truth about that promise in one image. The circus is not an escape from the performance of identity. It is the purest expression of it. The performers here do not have the luxury of showing their real faces. They are paid. Their entire livelihood depends on wearing a mask so complete, so technically constructed, that even when a child is weeping in the corner, the smile stays on. This is what the boy discovers in the painting. He ran away from a world that asked him to be something he was not. He arrives somewhere that requires the same thing, only more completely. The aging clown beside him has been doing this his entire life. That is what makes him old, not years. Practice. In 1922, Norman Rockwell placed two figures in a failing circus and let them sit together in silence. One of them is honest, one of them cannot be. The paintings were not what he saw, they were what he wished existed, produced by a man who felt something closer to the boy in the corner than to anything he ever put on a canvas. He did not put a happy ending here. He left us with a question that painting has been sitting with for over 100 years. Which one of them is wearing the costume, and which one of them is you? If you want to keep pulling at that thread, the darkness hiding inside images the world decided to call beautiful, the next video is waiting for you.